Buying an Anytime Fitness for $30,000. There's an Anytime Fitness near for sale for $30,000. It's in a location with some competition but also pretty heavily populated. Overall, the location seems like a B grade. The owners bought an old Anytime Fitness a year ago, gutted it, renovated and bought new equipment which will be paid off by the time the sale goes through. They said they are selling low to offload before they move full-time to Florida to run other businesses and semi-retire. They are 65 for reference and said they really just want to move to Florida. Being a year old, membership has a lot of room for growth. It's at $350 per month now. The owners had 2 other locations, each with around 1,200 members, and those sold for close to $1 million a pop. My question is, should I be cautious that they are selling so low? The investment alone they must have made into the gym in the past year is at least $250K. Seems like either a lack of foresight or something is going on that they aren't telling me. They said the gym right now is just about to break into profitability. Anything else I should know? Edit. I did talk to the owner over phone for about 45 minutes and he didn't seem full of s at #t. Obviously doesn't mean they aren't withholding something, but they are real people at least. Edit 2. Lots of responses. Thanks for the advice. It'll take me a bit to get through them. That price is a red flag. The equipment alone is probably worth twice that. So if they are really trying to liquidate and bounce, why wouldn't they just close shop and sell the equipment? I wonder if they are stuck in the lease and need someone to acquire it. What is the monthly membership price? They mentioned the equipment is on a lease, but will be paid off before selling. So the only thing that would make sense is the equipment is on some sort of lease to own plan. Monthly membership price is $45.
I'm a consultant that works with failing small businesses. I often recommend that they sell for whatever price they can get in order to get the personal liability of the lease removed. Sounds like at that price it's basically an asset sale, which does happen. What you really need to consider is what are the ongoing overhead costs associated with running the facility? While it's great that you'll own this business essentially free and clear with no debt, that doesn't necessarily mean that it'll be profitable. I see your big risks being the terms of the lease, and your personal responsibility for that lease, and then having sufficient work and capital to keep the place running. Given the fact that it's only a year old, it's impossible to predict with any certainty what the revenue is going to be going forward. I'm sure the seller sounds sincere and honest, but people don't sink tons of money into businesses and then change their mind a year later because they want to retire or move or whatever. My other big concern for you would be that if you don't have experience operating this type of establishment, you don't really have a good idea of what you're walking into. Before you jump in with both feet, you may want to talk to some experienced operators who are willing to share their advice and experience. There may even be consultants who have experience with these types of businesses who you can pay to advise you.
Appreciate the input. It does sort of seem like an asset sale. See if they can recover $30,000 before sailing off. I'll be reviewing the financial data this week, but initially it sounds like the business is at least self-sustaining from a revenue standpoint. Not a ton of profit, but with 350 members plus training, it should bring in about $210,000 per year. Rent is roughly $100,000 per year. I'll need to verify that the equipment is fully paid off. Other than that, expenses include the manager, trainers, utilities, and franchise fees, aside from regular maintenance.
The price seems like a red flag, but I've gotten good deals before, so I wouldn't run from the deal. Just based on that, you need to ask to review their books. Read through the equipment lease. Confirm it will be paid off as they say. Review the lease agreement on the building, assuming they have one. You said they bought and renovated, but very well could be a NNN lease they are on. Dig through the last year of revenues and expenses. Call the city and speak to the code inspector to see if there are any outstanding violations on the building or anything else you need to be aware of. You cannot compromise on your due diligence. Once completed, you will know if it's worth pursuing.
Good advice, thanks.